Hello, good morning everyone. I hope all of you are doing well in the present situation, which is a difficult situation of COVID-19 pandemic. I request all of you to stay home as far as possible and stay safe. Friends, today in this video we are going to discuss enzymes as tools of genetic engineering. First I will introduce myself. I am Mrs. Bharti Matpati, Associate Professor in Microbiology, Dr. Patangrao Kadam Mahavidyalaya, Sangli. So now let us start with the introduction to genetic engineering. Genetic engineering, the term is self-explanatory. Genetic indicates something to do with heredity and variations. Naturally, it is pointing towards the genetic material, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. And engineering indicates designing, manipulation or construction. In the process of genetic engineering, we manipulate the DNA, or you can say we design genes. We design the required genes, or we construct recombinant DNA. Now, what is recombinant DNA? Recombinant DNA is made by using the passenger DNA, that is the desired gene, and the vehicle DNA. A combination of passenger DNA and vehicle DNA is called as recombinant DNA. In this process of genetic engineering, we construct the recombinant DNA molecule, then we transplant it into a suitable host cell, and if it gets expressed in that host cell, the process is complete and successful. So the overall process of genetic engineering includes construction of recombinant DNA molecule, its transplantation into a suitable host cell, and its successful expression in the host cell. The technique of genetic engineering is also known as rDNA technology, that is recombinant DNA technology, or gene manipulation, or gene tailoring, or gene cloning. All this indicates genetic engineering. Various tools are required for genetic engineering, which include enzymes, vectors, DNA probe, linkers, adapters, and host cells. In this video today, we are going to discuss one of the tools of genetic engineering, that is enzymes. Various enzymes are required for the process to complete, the process of genetic engineering to complete. The enzymes mainly are involved in cutting the DNA molecule and joining the DNA molecules. During the process, we also need some other types of enzymes, but the major enzymes are cutting enzymes and joining enzymes. The cutting enzymes are exonucleases, endonucleases, S1 nucleases, and restriction endonucleases. The most important cutting enzymes that are used in genetic engineering are restriction endonucleases. The joining enzyme is DNA ligase, also called as polynucleotide ligase. It joins the polynucleotide sequence and ligates the DNA strands. The other enzymes include DNA polymerase. This enzyme is used for elongation of DNA strand by adding the nucleotides. Reverse transcriptase. This enzyme is used to construct DNA from an RNA molecule. Means it is reverse process to the process of transcription. Construction of DNA from RNA. Alkaline phosphatase is the enzyme which removes phosphate group from the free phosphate end, 5' phosphate end of the DNA strand. Terminal transferase enzyme is used to add the desired nucleotide sequence, which is a mononucleotide sequence generally, to the 3' end of DNA, and polynucleotide kinase is involved in phosphorylation of DNA. Now first we will talk about the most important enzyme of genetic engineering, that is restriction endonucleases. Restriction endonucleases are the enzymes that cut the DNA strand in both the strands of DNA, that introduce cut in both the strands of DNA. Various tools are required for genetic engineering. Enzymes are one of the important tools required for genetic engineering. Genetic engineering involves cutting the DNA molecule and joining the DNA molecule. So two major enzymes required are the enzymes required for cutting the DNA molecule and the enzymes required for joining the DNA molecule. Various cutting enzymes are available, which include exonucleases, endonucleases, S1 nuclease and restriction endonucleases. For genetic engineering, the most important cutting enzymes are restriction endonucleases. For joining the DNA strands, which is also called as ligation, the enzyme required is DNA ligase, also called as polynucleotide ligase. Many other enzymes are also required for genetic engineering process, which include DNA polymerase. DNA polymerase is involved in DNA synthesis. It adds nucleotides to the growing strand during DNA replication. Reverse transcriptase is required to construct DNA from RNA template. It is required during cDNA preparation. Alkaline phosphatase is used to remove the free phosphate end from the DNA strand. Terminal transferase enzyme is used to add nucleotides to the DNA terminus, mainly to the 3' end of DNA. Polynucleotide kinase is used to phosphorylate the DNA strand at the end. As I told you already, the most important enzymes in genetic engineering are restriction endonucleases, also commonly called as restriction enzymes. These restriction endonucleases have the ability to cut double-stranded DNA, means the cut is introduced in both the strands of a DNA. While cutting, they recognize a specific sequence of nucleotides, means they do not cut randomly at different spaces, but they first recognize a specific sequence of nucleotides. This sequence is called as the recognition sequence or the restriction site, and they introduce cut into the DNA strand at this particular restriction site. Restriction enzymes are believed to be evolved by bacteria to restrict the virus. Restriction enzymes are also called as molecular seizures. Now, why the enzymes are named as restriction enzymes, or why they are called as restriction enzymes? Because these enzymes are used by bacterial cells to restrict the replication of viral genome. When a virus attacks a bacterial cell, it will first adsorb onto the bacterial cell and then penetrate its nucleic acid into the host bacteria. The viral nucleic acid then starts replicating into the host bacteria. Host bacterium recognizes this viral nucleic acid, and the viral nucleic acid is cut by using restriction enzymes. Means it restricts the replication of viral genome. The enzyme restricts the replication of viral genome. Hence, they are called as restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes originated, this particular term originated from the studies on lambda-phage. In 1960, Werner Erber and Matthew Michelson found type 1 restriction enzyme. But in 1970, Hamilton, these two persons along with Wilcox isolated Hind1 from Haemophilus influenzae. Then their role in cutting the DNA was studied and their importance in genetic engineering was understood, and for this work they were awarded with a Nobel Prize in 1978 for Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine. This Nobel Prize was given to Werner Erber, Daniel Nathans as well as Hamilton. The restriction enzymes are categorized into various groups. Discovery of restriction enzymes. The term restriction enzymes originated from the studies on lambda-phage of E. coli. The first restriction enzyme was shown by Werner Erber and Matthew Michelson in 1960. In 1970, Hamilton O. Smith, Kelly and Wilcox discovered type 2 restriction enzyme from Haemophilus influenzae. For their work in this discovery and characterization of restriction enzymes, Werner Erber Daniel Nathans and Hamilton O. Smith were awarded with a Nobel Prize for Physiology. And restriction enzymes are of various types and thousands of restriction enzymes have been discovered. They are categorized on the basis of their composition, their requirements as cofactors, the nature of their target sequence, the position of their DNA cleavage site relative to the target sequence. Restriction enzymes are mainly categorized into three types as type 1 restriction enzymes, type 2 restriction enzymes and type 3 restriction enzymes. Type 2 restriction enzymes are most commonly used for genetic. This is a chart which differentiates type 1, type 2 and type 3 restriction enzymes. As I told you, type 2 restriction enzymes are most common restriction enzymes and they are most useful for genetic engineering procedure. Because type 2 restriction enzymes cut both the strands of the DNA at specific sequence called as recognition sequence, and the cut is in the sequence only, not away from the sequence. Its nuclease and methylase activity is different. It requires magnesium ions. Type 2 restriction enzymes are homologous. They have a single recognition. This chart indicates various properties of restriction enzymes. The most commonly used restriction enzymes in genetic engineering are type 2 restriction enzymes because these restriction enzymes recognize the specific sequence as restriction sequence, restriction site and introduce cut in the particular sequence. They have separate nuclease and methylase activity and they require magnesium ions for their activity. These are homodimers and they have a single recognition site. Type 3 restriction enzymes are rare, but they cut the DNA away from the recognition sequence and the cut is usually 24 to 26 base pairs downstream. While type 1 restriction enzymes are less common than type 2, they also cut both the strands of DNA, but they cut away from the restriction sequence or restriction site and the cut may be 1000 base pairs away from the recognition sequence. It is a single multifunctional enzyme. So, the most commonly used restriction enzymes for genetic engineering are type 2 restriction. Now, we will discuss the nomenclature of restriction enzymes. EcoR1, HIN3, BAM3, these are the names of restriction endonucleases. These are the names of enzymes. The first letter indicates the genus of bacterium from which the restriction enzymes are obtained. For example, EcoR1. E indicates Escherichia coli. E indicates Escherichia, the genus. The next two letters indicate the species of bacterium from which the enzymes are isolated. In EcoR1, CO indicates the species. The next letter indicates the strain of the bacterium from which the enzymes are isolated. In EcoR1, R indicates the strain. And the last Roman letter, Roman figure indicates the order of the enzymes, restriction enzymes isolated from the particular strain of the bacterium. For example, this is the first enzyme isolated from EcoR, that is EcoR1. The recognition site of EcoR1 is GAA. Now, how the restriction endonuclease? The restriction enzymes recognize specific sequence of nucleotides and then they introduce double-stranded cut in the DNA. This double-stranded cut may be exactly symmetric, and if the cut is symmetric, it produces blunt ends in the DNA. And the cut may be asymmetric, and if the cut is asymmetric, it produces sticky ends. So, two types of ends are produced after restriction enzymes cut the DNA, either blunt ends or sticky ends. Sticky ends are also called as cohesive ends. These are produced by staggered cut or asymmetry. Blunt-ended fragments can be joined to any other blunt-ended fragments. and these enzymes are useful for certain types of DNA cloning. The most useful restriction endonucleases are the endonucleases that produce sticky ends, because DNA fragments with complementary sticky ends can be combined to create a new molecule, and this allows the creation and manipulation of DNA sequences from different sources. This figure shows the blunt end produced by blunt cut and the staggered cut producing the sticky ends. These can be joined again together to produce a recombinant. This is a chart which indicates the names of some restriction enzymes, their source, their recognition sites, or which we call as cleavage sites also, and nature of the ends produced after cutting. E. co-R1, E. Escherichia, Co. coli, R. strain RY, and the first enzyme produced from that source. So the source is E. coli RY13. Recognition site is GAA-TTC. The cut introduced is asymmetric cut. It introduces cut after G on both the strands. Therefore, the ends produced are sticky ends. Hint 3. The source is Haemophilus influenzae, RD strain. AAG-CTT is the sequence which is recognized as cleavage site by hint 3. It also introduces staggered cut producing sticky ends. BAM-H1 is the restriction enzyme isolated from Bacillus amyloliquefaciens H. The recognition site is GGATCC. It also produces staggered cut and sticky ends. It introduces staggered cut to produce sticky ends. SAL1, the source is Streptomyces albus. The recognition sequence is GCT GAC, produces sticky ends. BAL1, Brevibacterium albidum. The sequence is TGGCCA, introduces a symmetric cut, produces blunt ends. He3, the source is Haemophilus aegypticus. The sequence is GGCC, symmetric cut is introduced and therefore blunt ends are produced. SMA1, the source is Serratia marcescens, introduces symmetric cut. The sequence is CCCGGG, produces blunt. So this is about the restriction enzymes. We will discuss the next tool in the next video.